The company that we chose to explore for our final project is L&W Supply. To explore a brief background of this company, L&W Supply was incorporated in 1971, setting its headquarters in Chicago, Illinois. 10 years later, in 1981, L&W Supply had expanded to 86 branches in over 31 states. By 2004, they had tripled their branches to 260 in over 36 states. More recently, in 2016, L&W Supply was acquired by ABC Supply. This company is one of the largest and most successful wholesale distributors of roofing, siding, windows, and exterior building products. Today, L&W Supply, along with ABC Supply, is one of the nation's largest distributors of drywall and interior building materials. Combined, they have over 178 locations nationwide and 1,600 associates and growing. When our group had the opportunity to interview Ben Friedel, we were able to get a tour of one of the company's warehouses, located right outside of Grand Rapids in Wyoming, Michigan. It was great to see firsthand the present-day functions of this company and learn more about the daily operations. As a supply chain major, it was especially interesting to see how they organize products and keep inventory, something that I will be doing in my future career.
Some of L&W's strengths are that they have challenging yet reachable goals. Their mission is to be the best, biggest, and easiest service company distributing select exterior and interior building products. Another strength is that they can be recognized as an employee-first company, producing world-class customer engagement and financial results. Lastly, as Mr. Friedel explained, another strength is that L&W's parent company is ABC Supply, who are also very successful, which is why they copycat ABC Supply and follow in their footsteps. In addition, L&W has a purpose which is highly effective within a company's associates. Their purpose and vision is to promote the American dream, to help their employees accomplish great things. The culture within the business is strong because they care for their associates, families, and their customers dearly, beyond organizational relationships. L&W's core values are respect for their associates, customers, and vendors. Opportunity that will allow for the growth and success of everyone within the company. Work hard, have fun. Having fun is not commonly seen as a core value in the work environment. When asked about this, Mr. Friedel explained that it truly brings the company closer and allows employees to reach their full potential while providing the most satisfaction in what they do. Entrepreneurial spirit, the belief that their employees have the ability to continuously improve. Family, L&W relies on trust in one another. American pride, L&W believes in the American dream. And finally, giving back, L&W takes the time to donate their time and resources to their country.
All the outside sales reps report to the business development managers, and then they report back to Ben, as he is the director of national accounts. Afterwards, Ben reports to the vice president. You can see on this org chart that the blue dotted lines represents indirectly reports and the solid red line is direct reports. Ben Friedel is the Director of National Accounts from the Midwest until California for L&W Supply. He is responsible for covering all commercial sales in the United States. Mr. Friedel oversees the business development managers in the outside sales team. Ben is also responsible for all national accounts and customers that have offices around the country or travel around the country. He works with vendors that offer products and services that are utilized by national contractors. He also works with well-known owners who build around the country, such as hotels, Walmarts, Amazon, retirement facilities, McDonald's, and many more. Mr. Friedel oversees bidding, strategy, and process for large projects such as casinos, high-rises, and much more.
Let's talk competition. When we asked Mr. Friedel about competition in the construction supply industry, he said there are three main competitors: Gypsum Supply Management, GSM, Foundation Building Materials, FBM, and L&W Supply. Looking at the three next to each other, they're pretty comparable in size, number of employees, and locations. That is until you add in L&W's parent company, ABC Supply. L&W alone has around 200 locations. Once you add in ABC Supply, it jumps up another 1,000 locations, giving them a huge differentiator compared to their competitors. Another difference is where the companies are located. L&W is the only one that is solely in the US, whereas the others have expanded into Canada as well. When we asked Mr. Friedel about expanding globally, he said that L&W still has so much of the US to explore, for example, like reaching and putting companies in Hawaii. He also mentioned that when you're expanding globally, there's a lot of barriers to entry. More time is money, so more money, and more hires, which again costs more money. He also referenced a little bit back to Hofstede's model of culture, because when you go to these different countries, the way they do business varies. Another differentiator between the competitors is how they market themselves. L&W prides themselves on being an employee-first company, whereas GMS specifically states on their website that they're a customer-first company. Mr. Friedel, throughout the interview, referenced the importance of being an employee-first company, and as their vision statement says, they want to be the best company to work for in America. He also mentioned the current state of the economy and that it is an employee market, so being an employee-first company gives them a huge advantage with this.
L&W has about 3,000 employees nationwide. They're headquartered in Chicago, Illinois. The company's annual revenue is usually about $1 to $2 billion. They have 140 manufacturers in the US with 178 locations in the country. In 2016, they were purchased by ABC Supply, raising the value of ABC at about $14 million. They have now expanded into international markets because they feel they have a lot of untapped potential still in the United States. The Grand Rapids plant has a unique advantage over other plants and other competitors because they have a railroad right next to the plant, which saves a lot of money on shipping. They do a really good job on social media, having significantly more followers than most of their competitors. They have 5 times the Twitter following as their next closest competitor. According to Craft.com, their employee rating is a 1/2 star higher than the next closest competitor, which means they do a really good job of attracting and retaining employees. And as we've learned in this class, employees are the most important people in an organization, so keeping them happy will lead to a successful business. According to Mr. Friedel, L&W heavily practices servant leadership. They're an employee-first company, and they put a large emphasis on the ideology of serve those who serve others. Their main goal is to constantly be giving back to their employees. One way they do this is by hosting events frequently to keep employee morale up. This follows Ken Blanchard's inverted pyramid, putting employees above everybody else.
When interviewing Mr. Friedel, our group learned of a great way that this company differentiates itself from others. This would be the gender diversity present in the workplace. Mr. Friedel explained to us the positive impact of having a female lead the company. Since 2007, Diane Hendricks has been the chairman and sole owner of the company ABC Supply, which owns L&W Supply. By having a female leader, the company constantly encourages workplace diversity and the importance of creating an equal work environment for all employees. Not only does this make the company more enticing to work for, but it helps to foster active collaboration and generate a healthy workplace. As a fellow woman, it was especially great to learn about Diane Hendricks and the massive success she has had within her career and the company's. She, along with L&W Supply, are setting a great example for leaders in business.
In our interview with Mr. Friedel, he mentioned how they apply situational leadership in the workplace at L&W Supply. We asked what characteristics he looks for when interviewing potential employees. He responded how interviewees that show they are self-driven and self-motivated stand out to them the most. They do not want employees that have to be told what to do, but rather take action themselves. It is noticeable that L&W Supply seeks for new employees that will potentially move through the situational leadership model quadrants quickly and easily.
Another managerial application that was mentioned throughout the interview is personality traits, and more specifically, the importance of a manager having emotional intelligence. We asked Mr. Friedel what are traits that you look for in a good manager. And emotional intelligence was one that he stressed. He said being able to understand the person across from you is really important in conversations, considering every day you're talking to employees, staff, clients, and future clients. Being able to understand how the person is reacting to what you're saying, how they feel about topics, allows you to guide the conversation better and leads to better outcomes. You're also able to create a mutual understanding of each other and create better relationships by doing so.
A recommendation I have for Mr. Friedel is to reduce groupthink. Oftentimes, with a big company, the desire for a group consensus overrides people's common sense desire to critique a position or express unpopular opinion. The desire for the group to all agree drives out good decision making and problem solving. Ways to reduce groupthink is by ensuring that your team is constantly trying to progress, encouraging ideas outside of the box, and sometimes encouraging conflict. Encouraging conflict should be expected within a team because it is normal for a team to have disagreements, and this can inspire greater ideas and creativity. Another recommendation I have is the addition of personality tests, like the Thomas Kilmann assessment, in order to better understand how others approach conflict. This is a test that asks multiple questions to evaluate people's conflict styles. The different conflict styles are competing, compromising, collaborating, avoiding, and accommodating. When asked about this, Mr. Friedel said he definitely was interested and wanted to look into it. This is beneficial information because teams work better together when they have a good understanding of how to approach people with a different perspective and way of thinking. A third recommendation I have is to reduce the span of control, because the smaller and more narrow the span of control, the more efficient a company operates. This is because managers have fewer employees reporting to them, so they are able to spend more time with the team members and increase the frequency of their interactions.